evening. I won't go through over all the details, since others have. I was reminded of Rick DeFore's remark was good, that the schools ought to think about what promotes learning. And writing a lawless letter intended to retaliate against somebody because they're putting their kid in some place where it works, taking them out of a place that doesn't work, is not about the school promoting learning. And so I would suggest that here's a place where, without spending money, you can make things go better by putting stock for that kind of behavior. There's, some things for which you just can't make them work without money. And I'm never going to stand here and tell you people, spend some money here, spend some money there, because you don't have to. And I don't want to see your ears fall off, when they tell you to spend money. So instead, I'm suggesting take a look at places in which you can make things better without spending money. And by preventing this kind of lawlessness and retaliation by your special education director, you can make things better without spending money. Now, my experience with D is very peripheral. I happen to go to the Program Advisory Council meeting. That's where all the SPED heads get together at the SELPA. And I got to hear her say that advocacy is something that it should not happen. Advocacy has no place. And what that indicates to me is that she has no clue concerning the law, because the Title 20 of the United States Code, 1471 and 1472, which is part of IDEA, not only says that advocacy is a good idea, it mandates that the federal government should fund it. Advocacy is kind of like tough and unpleasant reporters to a president of the United States. Decent presidents, like John Kennedy or like Harry Truman or people like that, they didn't like the press sometimes. They didn't like what reporters did to them, but it never occurred to them that tough reporters and unpleasant, people asking unpleasant questions were a bad thing. They make the system work. It's the same kind of way that a kid doesn't like the discipline of having to do assignments and everything. But when he's thinking straight, he says, I don't like it, but if it didn't happen, I wouldn't learn anything. So that's the kind of attitude that people in special education ought to have towards advocacy. You don't like it that much sometimes, but it's the only way that the system is going to work. So you suck it up because it's part of the job of getting it done right. She simply doesn't understand that, as far as I can tell. The trouble is, though, if parents are intimidated or bamboozled because they're stupid or whatever, it isn't only the parents who suffer. The district doesn't get the proper input. It doesn't get the job done right. And so all kinds of extra stupidity takes place that otherwise wouldn't take place. And stupidity is simply expensive. People have been able to afford stupidity in the education world because there's been all kinds of money. This country can spend $5 million a piece to kill people in foreign lands, and that works. It's not going to work anymore. The money is going away. The days of wine and roses are over. You're never going to see a wonderful economy. Never. So you're going to have to find out how to make all of this work using a lot less money. Instead of being the most cost and efficient education system in the entire world, we're going to have to find out how to get good stuff done with a lot less resources. And that means the kind of stupidity and malice that is showing up here is the kind of stuff which you've gotten away with putting up with that for the past 30 years. I don't think you can anymore. I think when you see that kind of stuff, you have to put a stop to it if you want to have a successful program. Finally, some of you people do profess to be believers in Jesus. So I'll end up with a story a little discussion that Jesus had about the tax money. People came to him and said, is it okay to pay taxes to Caesar? And he said, show me the tribute money. And he said, whose image and whose writing is that? And they said, Caesar's. So he said, give to Caesar's what is Caesar's and give to God's what is God's. Now these guys he was talking to, whenever you said something to them like, love your neighbor as yourself, they'd come back and say, well, who's my neighbor? They always had a question that got them out of doing what they were supposed to do. However, those guys didn't say a thing. And the reason they didn't say a thing is because they understood right away. The tribute money has Caesar's mug on it, and so it belongs to Caesar. Now, what tribute money has God's face on it and God's writing? Well, people. Kids, you, them. So when you allow people like your special education director to put God's little coins on the train tracks, the way kids do with pennies, it reminds me of another thing that Jesus had to say. If you aren't faithful with what belongs to somebody else, who's going to give you what belongs to you? So there may be a link between budget problems, on the one hand, where are you getting Caesar's money, and what are you doing to God's money? Now, I know it'll seem absurd to many, but I'm thinking that if anybody here believes in Jesus, maybe you'll see that there is a connection and you won't blow it off that quick. Take care of God's money properly, and maybe you'll have more of Caesar's money.